Hey guys, hey, this is Anne Marie, and I have a quick travel tip for you. When you are traveling to a country for the first time, go do all the tourist things. That's right, when you visit a country for the very first time, you are a tourist. So you need to go make it your business to go do all the tourist things. Hey y'all, hey, it's Anne Marie, and this is the BaldGirlWillTravel channel. I like to talk about travel, style, fashion, not necessarily in that order. I believe that travel is the best self-care there is, that style has no expiration date, and that if it feels good to you, you should put it on. I create my content for women over 40, specifically and especially Black women over 40, who are ready to travel boldly, live comfortably, and embrace their personal style unapologetically. I want to see more of us stop just talking about traveling and actually get out there and do it. And I want you to remember that style has no expiration date. Whatever you want to wear, you can wear it. So if it feels good to you, put it on. If that's up your alley, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please comment, but do so respectfully and constructively. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when another video drops from me. So here's the thing. If you're in Italy, have the pasta. Eat the gelato. You've never had it like that before, and you've never had it in the country where it comes from. When you get there, it's okay for you to have it. If you're in Thailand, eat the Thai food. Visit the temples and go see the things you've been looking at on the travel channel and in the pictures in the magazines and in the videos for years. Don't let some talking head on social media or some pretentious travel content creator tell you that you shouldn't see and do those things. You absolutely should. If a place is famous for something, it's famous for a reason, and it's usually worth seeing. Take my beloved Florence, Italy, for example. One of my absolute favorite places in the world, as you know, and my absolute favorite city. If you go to Florence and you don't go see David at the Accademia Gallery, or as it's called, the Galleria dell'Accademia di Firenze, what are you even doing in Florence? That statue is breathtaking. It's impossible to even describe it or give it justice in a photo or video. It is one of those things that you have to actually see with your own eyes in person. I remember convincing my best friend, Dominique, that she needed to go with me to go see it. It was her first time in Florence. We had been running all over the place all day, and we were running late for our appointment to go to the gallery to see David. And she was kind of like, do we really need to see it? Is it really that big of a deal? And I was like, yes, we have to see it. And I remember us speed walking through the streets of Florence, trying to get to the gallery, at least close to our entry time. We get there, we go in, we go straight to see it, because honestly, in that museum, I don't really think there's that much more to see in there. And she's just standing there with her mouth open, staring at it. And then I saw her eyes well up. And Dominique was kind of a emotional person, so was not a surprise for her to have that reaction. But I remember walking up behind her and saying, "Is that a tear I see?" And in typical Dominique fashion, she was like, "Girl, shut up." So that's one of my favorite memories of her now that she's no longer here, was that I literally had to talk her into going to see it. But when she saw it, she loved it, because how can you not see David and be awestruck by it and love it? It's love at first sight. Anyone who has seen that and was not taken by it, I don't know what's wrong with you, but something is. People love to act like they're too special or too above the tourist stuff. But let me tell you something. If it is your first time going somewhere, for the love of God, go see what makes that place special and popular. It is worth doing. Do the thing that everyone else travels to the place to see, because they're traveling there for a reason. Then once you've seen and done that thing, go deeper. I like to think that when we're traveling, as in life, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Do the famous things and explore the local gems as well. And let's just be honest. Why would you go to Rome and not see the Colosseum? Why would you go to Florence and not see David? Why would you go to Paris and not see the Eiffel Tower or visit the Louvre? Why would you go to Ireland and not see the cliffs of Moher? Why would you go to Zimbabwe and not see Mosioa Tunya also known as Victoria Falls. Or go to London and not visit Westminster Abbey or Trafalgar Square or the London Bridge. Why would you skip seeing the changing of the guard at Buckingham Palace? Like, why? Why would you go all that way and skip those things? It just seems really absurd to me that someone would go somewhere for the first time and skip those things. Like, why would you go to East Africa and not go on a safari, whether Kenya or Tanzania? It would seem very strange to me that you wouldn't do those things. Why would you go to Cape Town and not see Table Mountain? You'd be out of your mind, in my opinion, to skip those things. But they are huge tourist attractions. It just seems really absurd to me that someone would go somewhere for the first time and skip any of those things. These are all places that are considered tourist attractions. And yet, I believe you should see every last one of them if you go to those places. Just because something is a tourist attraction doesn't mean it's not worth seeing. It actually means the opposite. It means it probably is worth seeing. They are tourist attractions for a reason. They're iconic because they mean something to that place. So I'm often asked, how do I figure out what to do in a place I've never been before? I often use TikTok and other social media platforms, also Instagram, to find ideas and inspiration and activities to do in new places. You'd be amazed about how many hidden gems you can discover just by looking at what other travelers are doing in different countries, especially when they are local to the country. And because I'm a foodie, I always try to find where the locals actually eat. I'll watch travel food shows, check out restaurant tags, and yes, I will DM total strangers. I also will ask people when I arrive. I will ask the taxi driver. I will ask the concierge at the hotel. I will ask the lady in the store where I'm shopping. I just ask people. That's how I find out. When I travel, there are 3 things I enjoy doing on every single trip. I love to have cultural immersive experiences. I love to shop, and I love to eat great food. Usually, the way that I engage in cultural immersion is through walking tours and food tours. If a place is known for a particular thing, I'm going to go do that thing. I'm going to go see that thing. And I'm usually going to try to do it as soon as I get there. And I like to usually do a walking tour on my first or second day in a new place. It helps me to get a really good understanding of the city, the people, and the history of the country I'm in. And almost always, I'll spot something that I want to come back to later, and I'll explore it more deeply on my own. After that, I focus on the other things that I love, shopping and great food. And yes, I do like luxury items, but I also like unique, interesting local pieces that reflect the place that I'm visiting. So when people travel with me, that's what I try to do, and that's what I try to give them. Culturally immersive experiences. We are almost always going to do a walking tour. We are almost always going to have time for shopping, and we are always going to eat amazing food. And we are going to see all the tourist things, because if you go to a place that's known for something, you must allow people to experience those things, even if you've seen them many times before. Then I always encourage people to come back on their own if they don't have time to see and do everything they wanted to see and do while we were there. And I do the same thing when I solo travel. For example, when I go to London now, I don't go to Westminster Abbey or Buckingham Palace anymore because I've already seen it. I've already done those things. But I think it's absurd for content creators and travel influencers to discourage people from doing tourist things. I actually think you should. Honestly, it's pretentious in my opinion, and it's pure bullshit if you ask me. Like take Kenya or Tanzania, for example. Of course you should go on safari, but you should also explore these countries beyond that. There's so much more to do in both Kenya and Tanzania than just go on safari. There's so much more to the continent of Africa than just seeing animals in the wild. But I would urge you and encourage you to do that while you're there. But just make sure that that's not all you're doing. The continent is huge. These countries are huge. You're doing yourself a huge disservice if all you do is go on safari. Like when I went to Istanbul last year, my second visit, but my very first real vacation there, someone in a Facebook travel group told me about a Nigerian restaurant in town. So after doing some shopping, I and the person I was traveling with, we went to that restaurant and I had some fried fish, jollof rice that was amazingly delicious. And because I love shopping, I picked up a few things that remind me of that trip every time I look at them, especially my Red Heart Gucci bag that I purchased and saved over $300 by buying it in Istanbul. So it does pay to do your homework and to ask people questions. Every time I look at that bag, it makes me smile and it reminds me of the amazing time I had in Istanbul. And in addition to shopping and eating great food, I also did all the touristy things that you should do when you go to Istanbul for the first time. I did the Hagia Sophia, I went to the Grand Bazaar, I even did a flying dress photo shoot. I did all the things and I enjoyed every minute of it. Now, people love to laugh at tourists on the hop-on, hop-off buses, but let me tell you something. I love those hop-on, hop-off buses. One of the easiest and best ways to see a place really quickly when you don't have a lot of time is to get on the hop-on, hop-off bus. And I have done the hop-on, hop-off bus in multiple countries. I've done it in London. I've done it in Palermo. Did we do it in Paris? I've done it in Paris. I did it in Munich. Anytime I don't have a lot of time somewhere, like if I have under 5 days, I'm getting on that daggone bus. I especially enjoyed it when I went to Palermo, Sicily for the first time. I only had 3 days, and that tour let me see the city, learn about it, and really get a feel for it. And that's how I fell in love with it. So the next time I went back, I didn't need to do the bus again. Instead, I was able to access a lot of places on foot from memory of the first time when I saw them on the bus. Another thing I like about the hop-on, hop-off bus is you can get off in a neighborhood, explore it, then go back to the pickup point, get on the bus, go to another neighborhood, explore that neighborhood, then get back on the bus and go back to the next stop that's closest to where your hotel is or wherever you started the tour. You can use those buses all day for transportation all over the city and pay one price and just go off and on and off and on. Why in the world wouldn't you do that? So I don't care what anybody says about those buses. I'm going to be on it. And I enjoy myself getting on there. It's also a nice way to meet new people. Especially when you're traveling solo, it's always nice to go places where there are going to be other people. And I've made friends, met really interesting people by going on tours and also getting on the hop-on, hop-off bus. Another story, when I went to Palermo for the first time, I was staying in an Airbnb and the host is just the sweetest person. She's Afro-Cuban, married to a Sicilian, and she came there as a student and ended up staying, getting married, and she lives there. She has a lovely Airbnb, and I have now used it twice. Both times that I've been to Palermo, I have used it, and I just love staying in the apartment. It's really nice, and it's in a very central location that allows me to walk almost anywhere that I want to walk in the historic part of Palermo, and it's in the Bolero Market neighborhood, if you're familiar with Palermo. So it's actually a really great place to be based, and I really like it there. And when I went to Palermo for the first time, she told me about this restaurant that was Senegalese, and she told me it had good food. And I went there on my own, and I fell in love with the place. If I can get the name of it, I'll put it on the screen for you. It is owned by a Senegalese man, and I think he's married to an Italian woman. And he has pretty good jollof rice there, but he plays the guitar and he plays it so beautifully. And I just love the vibe of the place. You sit outside, everybody just hangs out. And then he comes on with another group of guys and he'll play his guitar. And it is so incredibly beautiful. If I can find a video that I think I saved, I'll drop it right here. Wasn't that beautiful? So when traveling in a new place, I always think it's a good idea to ask locals for recommendations in person, right? And I think if you're staying at Airbnb, your host is probably going to give you recommendations, and if they haven't, you should ask. If you're staying at a hotel, you should ask the concierge, but understand that sometimes concierges are going to give you recommendations from people who are paying them a kickback. That's just part of the tourism game. Same thing happens on excursions and stuff. So it's fine, but I would say also slide up to the bar and ask the bartender, okay? Don't just ask the concierge. Ask the bartender, what's your favorite restaurant? Where do you take your girlfriend or your wife or your sister or your mom when you want to go somewhere really nice? Ask people those questions. When you go shopping, ask the lady at the store. I like asking local people and engaging with local people in that way, and they will always tell you about some hidden gems that you might not find out otherwise, like how I found out about that restaurant, that Senegalese restaurant in Palermo. This year, when I went back to Bologna for the second time, this time I stayed. The first time I went, I just went for a day. I did 2 walking tours. I did a cultural one and I did a food-focused one. And the food-focused one was interesting because we didn't even eat any food on the tour, but I enjoyed it and I learned so much. He took us around the restaurant district and he showed us the different kinds of cured meats, and he explained bolognese sauce, which is actually called ragu in Bologna. And he explained that they do not eat it with spaghetti. They eat it with fresh egg tagliatelle. I believe it's tagliatelle. You could correct me if I'm saying it wrong, which is the traditional pasta for ragu in Bologna. And I learned they don't really like when tourists ask for spaghetti bolognese because that has absolutely nothing to do with Bologna. These are the kinds of things that you can learn when you actually engage with culture and with local people in a community. And this was a tour I found on Airbnb Experiences, and it was great. So to close, yes, go to Pisa and take your photo with the Leaning Tower. But then go explore nearby areas, like, for example, a place called Laverne, sometimes called the Venice of Tuscany. It's quite beautiful, and you can do little boat tours there. I'm lucky enough to have a friend who lives in that area, and she took me, and I loved it. If you go to Zimbabwe, you absolutely must go see Victoria Falls, but you can do what I did. I was only there on a Friday through Sunday. That Saturday, I got into Friday evening. That Saturday, I went to Victoria Falls, and I saw it, and it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. But then I went back to my hotel. I took a little nappy nap because, you know, some of us at my age, we need our rest. Took me a little nappy nap, and then I got up and went on a 5-course sunset river cruise on the Zambezi River, and it was beautiful. I got to see hippopotamuses with their mouths open, which I've seen hippos all over the place in the wild, but I've never seen them like that. It was incredible. I've been on several safaris, never seen them the way they were in that river, because they're usually under the water. They don't come up for whatever reasons when I've seen them in other places. But this time they were just out and about, hanging out with their mouths open, living their best hippo lives. And the sunset was glorious. It was an amazing experience and the perfect reminder that you can do both things, the iconic and the intimate, the well-known and the unexpected. So my tip to you is simple. Do the tourist thing. See the thing that makes the place famous and that it's known for. Then balance it out with what makes the trip meaningful to you, whatever that might be. That's how you experience a destination fully, not just like a tourist, but like a traveler with curiosity and intention. And don't forget to visit my website and subscribe to my website, www.BaldGirlWillTravel.com. Over there, I share travel tips, I share information about my upcoming trips, and style inspiration for women over 40, especially us sisters over 40. Because travel is the best self-care there is, and you deserve to see the world one tourist stop and hidden gem at a time. And please don't forget to take a moment and join me on LTK, which is a site where I share pretty much anything you see me wearing, travel gear I might talk about in my videos, etc. You'll find them all over there. There are not enough of us ladies over 50 on that platform, and so I'd like to change that. So if you will check out the link in my description and follow me there, I'd very much appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.